Yo, good morning, everybody. Morning to the plethora of people in our chat. Welcome to the Apex Brotherhood London session stream. My name's Richard Butler. I'm your host today. Welcome if you're new here. Stick around. We're about to have a little bit of fun. For the old guys that have been here for a while, you know what to do. Guys, just a quick disclaimer, and then we'll get into the morning. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Let's get some music going here. First of all, for those in chat, can you just let me know if you can actually hear the music? Because on my side, it has to be quite soft. Otherwise, it interferes with my mic. I am currently in a gold trade. I'm going to immediately put up the screen so you can see. Let me do this rather. I am in a gold trade. It is so close. It is so close to my profit. It's like it's almost touching it. Okay, so on MetaTrader, it is just touched it with the one, with the ask. Now I'm waiting for the bid line to touch it. Oh, come on, man. It's so close. It is so close. I see. Good morning, MGN. Morning, bro. Oh, man. It's so close. It took it. La Bosch, as Will would always say. That is a winner, guys. I banked it. W. That was great. And then I can hear the music. Awesome. That's great. Cool. So I have 3 winners this morning. Two full ones and 1 partial one. So I had a GU sell from this point over here. This was just a 1-to-1 because it's Monday. So took a small little win there. Let me just mark that one back down. And then on EU, it didn't quite reach my take profit. It missed it by 1 pipette on MetaTrader. Literally 1 pipette. So it went to 10.3 pips. And then it started moving back up again, which was a strange area because it didn't really have a zone that it tested, in my opinion. Maybe on the 30-minute it could have tested something. No, not really. But anyway, so it started making these two let me just move this way. These two candles over here. I dropped down to the 3-minute to see what was going on there, if there was anything that looked strange. And then I didn't quite like the way that it was starting moving on the 3-minute. I dropped down to the 1-minute, which is something that I don't normally do. And then we had this little section here that I wasn't all too happy with. And then when it made this big wick, I'm saying big wick, it's a big wick on the 1-minute. It made a little wick here with a little bear candle and then a bullish candle, and on this bullish candle I closed. So it was a 4 pip trade after the commissions went off. So a full 1-to-1 on GU, a let's call it half a trade on EU, and then on GU I just took a full one, which is amazing. I'm trying something a little bit different on gold. So with GU and EU, I would stick to my 1 to 1.5 or 1-to-1 ratio, risk to reward. But today I decided to do the same thing that I did on gold, which is if it reaches, let's say, a 1-to-1 risk to reward, I don't close the, or I don't have the take profit at 1-to-1. I have the take profit at 1 to 1.5 in this case. But once the price reaches was up here on $5 movement, so 50 pips. I dropped it down to 25 pips, and then I made sure that my target still stayed at the 75 pip range. So I did the same thing with GU today and on EU, where once it reached about 5 pips in profit on GU, I dropped my risk from 10 pips to 5 pips. And then I did the same thing on EU, but then EU started turning. So you can say that this is almost a one-to-one, where it basically was on 10 pips and 10 pips as a one-to-one. I dropped my risk to 5 pips, and then the take profit was 4.4, but then obviously 0.4 of that is commission as well. So that's good. I'm happy. A little win is better than a big loss. And then, yeah, two full wins. The one on gold obviously is amazing. Just saw something now. Somebody saying that the music is a bit loud. Is that a little bit better? Oh, I see the Davies Brothers is in. That's William, our founder. How are you, Will? How's the holiday? How's France? Vive la France. Hope you're having a good time, mate. I saw your messages this morning, but I woke up a little bit under the weather. I don't know if it's a Monday thing after a weekend of having too much fun, but woke up Monday feeling a little, let's say a little bit under the weather. So I didn't reply to any of your stuff, but saw that message now about the music being a little bit loud. I did turn it a bit down if it's better. Yeah. Will always the one that says everybody needs to come and jump in on the stream. Awesome. Love it, man. Yeah, not a lot of people in today. Maybe it's Monday. Everybody is waking up a little bit late. So yeah, guys, come and keep me company. Invite your mothers, your brothers, your uncles, your aunts, everybody. Just invite them to come and join us, and we'll chat a little bit. And then if there's anything that you guys want me to have a look at today, then yeah. Well, maybe let me go through with my reasoning why I took the GU and the EU trade, and then I'll leave gold for last. So let's start with GU. So it was a small little scalp. Usually Mondays, I generally wait for GU or the London session to open up. And this morning, I just saw it looked as though it wanted to try and go down a little bit. So the whole of last week, Friday, obviously, we had this nice long range. We had this nice long up and down session last week, Friday, because we had some news and it was a Friday. Generally on Fridays, the market is kind of like gearing up for slowing into the later session of the day. So it starts off maybe a little bit volatile, and then it kind of like slows down as the later the day goes on. People, I don't know, maybe don't want to hold their trades over weekends. Or the market just didn't quite know where it wanted to go. We did have this large section where it was trading in, but the thing is, it wasn't creating new highs. So when the day opened up, which is the very top of this box, it at no point attempted to even touch the top of it. Didn't attempt to break this top section at any point. However, when the market opened up and Tokyo was created, we swept Tokyo at the bottom, and then we pushed back into the Tokyo session. We did not break above the Tokyo session high. This is on Friday. We pushed lower again. We came back into the Tokyo session's midpoint, let's say. We pushed out of it, made a new low. So we're technically creating lower lows, lower highs, and then pushing back in, creating a higher high, then a lower high, and then an equal high, and then another equal high, and then this was the end of day, basically at this point. So a upward trending, but very slow. Initially, it started as downward trending, and then it started moving up to the upside, but at no point did it indicate that it wanted to go higher. Didn't push above this box. The whole day, it was lower than the Tokyo session. It pushes into the Tokyo session range, pushes out, in, out, in, out the whole time. So that to me just indicated just a little bit of uncertainty on gold, on pound, sorry, not gold. And then this morning, the whole of Tokyo as well was still basically within this same little box. We were still trading within this section with no indication of an upside as yet. I mean, if you take this box and you placed it on the New York high of Friday and you push it through, Tokyo was exactly on the high of New York last week. And the very first indication of a lower point was at the daily open. So the daily open made a low here and made a high there. And this long wick that we have here, make an infinity symbol, is usually an indication of there were market orders sitting at that point, and it could not go higher than it wanted to, because all of this long wick that's here is just orders pushing it lower, pushing it lower, pushing it lower. So in my mind, the idea was if we were going to go higher than the New York session of last week Friday, we would have needed to at least push through and test, let's say, this high point of this wick to show that there's upward positioning. Obviously, we can see now that there is upward movement coming in on pound, but during Tokyo, obviously, I wanted to see that move so that you have your early indication of it wanting to go higher. And it didn't. Started pushing a little bit lower, and then I decided, you know what, let's go back down to the 5. It attempted to push higher. This was the attempt to push higher, and it failed. It failed its attempt to go higher. The price moved lower than the box. It pushed back into the box. It showed some downward volume. It attempted to come and test the box again. It pushed down at the time of Tokyo close. And as Tokyo closed, just after 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock UK time, it pushed in one more time, and then it created this bearish, you can say, engulfing candle. And to me, that just indicated that it wanted to go down, though, let's say, short term. Decided to enter the trade. It wasn't exactly at 135641. It was at 13562692. Okay, so it was 1 pipette higher. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that is what I saw there and decided to enter. Got the win. So I'm happy for that one. Obviously, now it's starting to move up. So now I would want to start looking for it to close. Let's go back to the 15. I want to see it close above this section up here. It's wicking into it right now. I would want to see it close above and make a new high from last week. So basically be higher than last week's high. Wait, I think this was last week's high. This was the 9th. Yeah. So this was last week's high. This point up over here. But I think we can push past last week Thursday's high. Hopefully. Push above this box, push above this line, and come and test last week's high. Let's have a look at the daily and see whether or not we can see anything on the daily that seems like a good entry point or a good area to test. We had a new structure pushing down, coming up, lower high, lower low, high, equal high almost, very almost equal. Then we changed. Now we had a higher low, a lower high, a lower low, and now a higher high again. But it's an equal high in relation to this one over here. So there is a potential that it would want to either, if you can think of this top section here being a support or resistance line. So it's resisting its temptation to push through. Pushes into it, reacts off of it strongly, pushes back into it, doesn't go higher, goes a little bit lower, but it's condensing. It's the range itself is coming closer. The amount of downward movement is less, but it's still coming to try and test this section. So I think we can have a break through and then a retest and then an attempt to go higher to test these highs here. I think that is what I would like to see. On the 20 EMA, we are seeing upward movement. We're seeing it moving away from the 20 EMA on a bullish momentum, bullish direction. I don't know what I'm saying about momentum. So that is what I would like to see. I would want to see it push higher, but obviously it needs to close above, retest this section here. That is ideally what I would like to see. Close above it, come and retest it, and then carry on going higher. EU, similar idea, except that it seems as though we are making slightly lower highs overall, but we're also making slightly lower lows overall as well, except this was a higher low. So last week, Friday, we had the exact same idea. From the Thursday night, we just wicked the Thursday night high. So we took all of the liquidity that was sitting up here, all of the orders, all of the sellers that were waiting for price to reach this point to try and sell it down. Started pushing down. It created a new low on the day. So it went lower than the previous day, London, a New York session, and this Friday's Tokyo session. It started pushing up again. It created a lower high. It made a lower low. So we're saying that this is downward moving. We're saying that this is a bearish trend. It attempted to push a little bit higher, expecting this price to come down. It made a lower high. You're expecting the price to make a new lower low. It didn't. It started coming back up again. Made a higher high in relation to this little section, but it did not make a new high on the most recent swing. Started pushing down again. Made a higher low. Made a higher high, and then it started this little consolidation section where we are now. I know it's not the most expertly drawn out section, but it's giving you an idea that last week we had a bit of a bearish trend, which was then reversed during New York session, and then from New York session, as we exited New York session, it started consolidating, slowing its momentum, not yet deciding which direction it wants to go. Monday opens up. Monday we have a little box again where Tokyo is just running in between the section, the high and the low of the day. So the opening range, or the opening session of the day, the Tokyo session, is very consolidative. It's trending within the last week's most recent areas, not showing any general direction at all. And we'll need to see some sort of directional change. In this case, we saw it push a little bit lower than the Tokyo low. Could find no more sellers wanting to push the price even lower. Buyers started taking in more entries. It's pushing higher than the Tokyo session. The question is, are we going to push higher than last week Friday's price? come back down either to test the Tokyo high or to come and test this high point of New York last week and then continue higher. Is that something that we're going to see? Or are we going to see price just, let's say, tap into the section, take the liquidity that's just above it, push lower, attempt to push higher again, fail, and then go down? And then the third question is, are we going to have a ranging day or are we going to have a trending day? And so far, to me, on let me just remove some of these drawings. To me, as it stands right now, we need real impetus. We need something that can really push the price to start moving higher. In this case, we have a base down here that can be tested on the 4-hour. We have a high with liquidity section above that needs to be tested as well. So there's a lot of movement both above and below where the price is currently. This is just on the 4-hour. We had a lower swing and an attempt to take out the liquidity that's just below Friday's London session. So there might be a lot of liquidity sitting here because we had a reaction out of this base. So there could be a lot of orders waiting over here to push the price back up. So I would like to ideally see the price come and test this bottom portion first. But also at the same time, we have taken this liquidity with that candle. So we just wicked above, didn't close, and then we carried on pushing lower. I believe this was during Tokyo. And then we attempted once more to push higher, and we didn't. But what is interesting to see is that we haven't closed above this 4-hour candle. So if I just remove some of these drawings, if you look at that top candle as if it is, here we go. If you look at it as if it's a resistance point, this is on the 4-hourly, obviously. Price pushed creates a lower high, push lower, creates a higher low, pushes back into it, and then just kind of consolidates here. So we're building up for something. We're building up for a move right now. Do we have enough impetus to push the price above this box, pick up some liquidity, pick up some orders, and then start pushing it down? Or are we going to see price just push into this box, close lower than the box, and then attempt to go down again? Or are we just going to see it on the 4-hourly, not even close within the box and just close slightly underneath it and then start pushing down? So a few questions. I'm one of those traders that I wait for the market to start reacting, to start showing it wants to do something, and then I'll enter a trade. Obviously, I would want to see certain areas first be taken and say, okay, price respected this area and reacted off of it. That's what I would like to see, ideally. But I am a reactive trader. I act on what I see. I don't know if reactive trader is the right word. Anyway, let's have a quick look at chat. Davies Brothers, tres bien, bro. I honestly hope that you're having a great time that side. Currently laying in bed, having a lazy morning with a lovely lady. Please don't go into too much details, but send CC our regards. All right, music is much better. Like Will is saying, guys, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I see we've got only 2 viewers in, and I'm thankful that you guys are here. Thank you for being here. We are going to push to have more people in. I think they all probably still sleeping, having enjoyed their weekend a bit too much. And then, yeah, guys, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe if you are new. Obviously, the 2 people that are in at the moment, I do believe you're both subscribed. Yeah. Will, are you trading at all? Or are you just laying in bed, having a look, not really interested in the market as it is at the moment? Are you also just waiting for some sort of impetus? Let's see, this is 15 and this one is the 5. Okay, I'm going to remove that one. Let's have a look at Goldings. Oh, I'm so happy with this trade. It was such a nice trade. My rally-based rally and reversal points have been serving me quite well recently. We had a little bit of consolidation here on gold. This was at just before Friday close. Price opened up slightly higher, pushed lower. So it's a drop, a base, another drop, another base, another drop. So we are running a downward bearish movement. And then it had another attempt to go lower here, which it failed. And then it pushed higher quite strongly, creating a rally, a base, and then another rally, taking out the high of the day, basically the opening price. And then it consolidated a little bit, and then it created a new drop, a strong drop. So I am anticipating gold potentially moving slightly lower. I don't think we are going to see new record highs, at least not today. I think we are going to move a little bit lower before we attempt to create new highs, all-time highs, let's rather say, because the all-time highs is way up here. This is all-time highs. And we are quite a bit away from all-time highs. We're about $39.50 away from all-time highs again. And the whole of last week, that was Tuesday when that all-time high happened, we had a massive reaction off of it, which makes sense. I mean, people are going to want to take their profits when you reach all-time highs. Obviously not everybody, but some of them are. And then we attempted to make a new high. It failed. We pushed lower and we made a new low. Attempt to push higher. It became an equal high. Consolidated, pushed lower. Not a new low. We haven't yet tested this bottom section of Thursday's low. So I feel as though we can potentially come and pick up some orders that might be sitting somewhere over here first. At the very least, I think we can definitely come and test Tokyo low. And then if we test Tokyo low, as an example, from, let's say, from where the price is now, this 15-minute base, we react off of the base, we push lower, we test the Tokyo low, we test the 15-minute base, we push through the Tokyo low, we come and pick up some orders, and then maybe an attempt to go higher. But I don't think we're going to see a new high of day, of, let's say, last week, Friday. I don't think we're going to see last week's high just yet. Maybe during New York session. I think New York session, we might see some attempt at least to come and take up this section up here. If it does push back into, let's say it's playing around like this, it doesn't matter how it plays, but it eventually decides to start moving up and it takes out the high of last week Friday, and it does not react strongly by then going down. If it does not do that and it actually breaks above, closes, and does not push through the box again, going down, I can see us going up again to try and test the all-time highs. But I don't think that is going to be today. I don't think it's going to be necessarily even this week. I can see a little bit of a downside towards gold for today at least, and then maybe tomorrow. But once again, I'm a reactive trader, so I react to the market showing me what it wants to do, I don't really care about the long-term direction. Actually, I care less about it now than I did, let's say, a few months ago, where let's call it my edge, comes from reacting to what the market is showing right now. The momentum shifts, the attempts to break through key levels, what I define as key levels, at least. And then my reaction off of that is where my edge is. If I have to go and predict where I think the price will go, like for argument's sake, people like saying, "Oh, do we think that gold is going to reach 4,000?" I don't know. I'm not much of a fundamental analyst. I'm more of a technical, and I'm a very short time frame technical analyst. Let's put it like that. So when people say, "Oh, I think it's going to be 4,000 by the end of the year," it's just like it could not. I don't know. It's all going to depend on what the market is showing at that point in time for me, and then I'll say, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it can reach 4,000 because it makes sense now." But as a predictive, from a predictive point of view, I don't see the point because I'm not an investor. I don't invest over months or years. I'm a day trader. I trade sessions. I trade price during that specific day. And some days it's going to be consolidative and I'm going to lose a little bit more than I win. And then there's going to be days that we have really nice volumetric trending moves and I'm going to make bank. But I don't really care about the long-term impact. Not to say that it's not valuable. It is definitely valuable. And I think investors and people that hold position trading and swing trading a little bit more as their style, for them it's way more important. And obviously it's got importance. And I see my uncle from England, Mr. Pooley. Morning, brothers and sisters of the hood. Morning, Pooley. How are you, man? How was the weekend? I wasn't myself. I wanted a chill weekend. I don't know why. I was feeling a little, let's not say burnt out, but a little mentally tired from last week. And the weekend, I just wanted to just relax. I wanted to lay with my feet up, just not want to think too much, just chill. Play a few computer games, talk to friends and whatnot. And then on Saturday, we went for a park run, and I absolutely blasted my legs. I struggled to walk yesterday. I feel like I got shin splints. I generally have strong thighs and calf muscles. But I don't know if I did not warm up properly or if I didn't stretch properly. But doing the park run, I was jogging, then walking, then jogging, then walking. And by the end of it, I felt, oh, yeah, no, I'm okay. Oh, man, like 2 hours later, I could barely stand. And when I sit down, I could barely stand up. So it was just yesterday, my legs, and even this morning, my legs are so sore. It feels like I did leg day. And then, yeah, the I'm going to be lazy weekend just didn't end up being a lazy weekend. We had friends over on Saturday that same evening. We had a braai. We watched the rugby. So yeah, guys, tell me how your weekend was. Those obviously, if you will, don't tell us. We know what your weekend has been like, and we love you, but we're very jealous of the fact that you get to be in France. So don't tell us about your weekend, Will. But Pooley, MGN, tell us about your weekend, how it was, and then, yeah, let's get a little discussion going. MGN saying, good morning at Pooley. Yes, we should always say hello to Pooley. He is our favorite person. I'm still struggling to walk, yeah. Because you, MGN, you did the same thing. You also did some jogging with me, and you also did some walking and jogging. But I mean, here's the crazy thing. My dad also does the park run with myself and my brother. And he's 65 years old. And he sets a pace where he starts walking and he just goes. Doesn't slow down. In fact, he speeds up. He just goes. He's a machine. And he makes myself, my brother and I look quite bad. But kudos to him. He's always been quite the walker, so he can walk at a brisk pace. And MGN and myself decided we were going to do some jogging as well. We had to jog to keep up with my dad. And then we would walk a little while, and his walking pace is just too fast. And then we have to jog again. And then at some point, I decided, screw this. I want to be in front. So started jogging, and then MGN stuck with me. And I think maybe we overdid it a little bit. I don't know. Pooley, good weekend, nephew. Thanks. Went to watch my team Stoke City with my daughter on Saturday, which resulted in a great win over our closest rivals. I don't know jack shit about football. So I'm obviously from South Africa, so we do have football. We call it soccer. But I'm definitely more of a rugby guy or an NFL guy or esports in that case. So tell me, who is your closest rivals? And why should I, as your nephew, be a Stoke City fan? So tell me why. Why should I? And then I'll become a Stoke City fan if you can convince me. Pooley did some post-trade analysis on last week's trades yesterday afternoon, looking for a continuous improvement point. That is a lovely thing to do. One of the best things that you can do as a trader is to reflect. So whether it's mental reflection or analytical reflection. So you always can go back and see, if you've documented and you've journaled about your process, or you've journaled about your trades in detail, then you can go back and you can say, okay, I took trade A. This was the setup. This was what I felt. This is how I interpreted it. This is what the market was showing me. I took the trade. This was the result. And then on the weekend, you can go and you can look at all of that information. You can start seeing some patterns. You can start seeing, okay, what your emotional state or the impact of your emotional state on your trades. Or you can see maybe market cycles that just doesn't align with your strategy, as an example. The idea of seasonality, or the idea of, let's say, higher impact news, how it impacts your trading itself. That's the only way I feel you can truly find out whether or not your strategy or where your improvement points are on your strategy. And it's once you've had some data to have a look at. So Pooley, that is good practice. That is really good habits to implement on the weekend. Obviously have fun, relax, revitalize over the weekend, but also spend a little bit of time just to do that weekly prep, get ready for the week. Pooley, yeah, you're laughing at us suffering and my dad just outwalking us. Yep. Wrong shaped ball for me, Richie. Yeah, the rugby ball, yeah, it's oblong, so it's the wrong shape for you. But tell me, like, why are they? This is why. We are one of the founding fathers of football soccer in this country. Great support from proper working class people and not the prawn sandwich eating hospitality so-called supporters of the major. Okay, so Stoke City is a minor league. It's not part of the major league or whatever. Oh, Premiership teams. Okay, so it's not a Premiership team that you're referring to. So the prawn eating, sandwich eating hospitality of the Premiership, you don't want to be a part of them. Okay, so keeping it homely, keeping it as a little bit more close-knit group. I remember MGN, he used to have a friend that played football, and they had a soccer club, a football club here close to us. We have a stadium close to us, and one of his favorite things to do was to go and watch them play footy and get absolutely blasted in the bar. Yeah, so also small, definitely not a Premiership league. Hell, I don't think it's even like a B tier, C tier, maybe a C tier league, let's say like that. But definitely more fun, I would think. So yeah, this weekend was okay. People probably don't know this, but I'm a Dota fan, which is a computer game, and they have this international championship, which is known as the International, and which is then shortened to TI, which is the and International, and they've had it since 2011, 2010. So it's been going a fair few years, and this weekend was the final. So it is the best teams in the world competing for a few $1 million in prizes. Obviously, the TI championship itself has become smaller. Let's say a few years ago, the prize pool was $40 million. Like for people playing games, $40 million. This year, it was just shy of $2.5 million, but still, that is a boatload of money for most people. So I sat up watching that, which to me it's always entertaining. I always enjoy watching it, but that's my version of, for argument's sake, football, where you have two teams going and trying to destroy the other one. We are a second tier team, hopefully in for a good season. Well, that's good. Like, hopefully with your support, they can do better. Not that I think that you supporting them is going to do anything, but it's nice that you try. You know, you try and support them. So good on you, Pooley, for being a supportive fan. All right, so who is trading what today? Who's looking at what? Who has some positions open from last week, and who wants to look for potential entries today? Pooley, MGN. I know Will obviously is just at this point in time. I can't say it on stream. The thing that I wanted to say, because need to be civil, need to be a nice guy. Okay, so we've had the break above last week's high. We've closed, but now we're retracing. So we're having this move. Now the question is, are we going to push back into this box and then react up? Let's see. So I'm going to move over to my 15 and my 5-minute chart. I am going to remove that one. Just going to move this around a little bit. Let's delete that. Let's do this. So we've pushed higher, but we haven't closed yet. This one I'm going to remove. This one I'm going to remove. And I am going to reprint. Something like this. So now what I want to see is price must push into this gap here, maybe potentially testing this box here, and then attempt to go higher. That is what I want to. It doesn't really matter if it reacts on this box or within this box, so long as it does not push lower than this section down here, which is the Tokyo high. It must not push deeper into Tokyo again, because then we're signifying a reversal, a complete reversal. Because as it stands here, we have a base to test down here, but I don't want it to be tested. I want the Tokyo high, which is this section over here, to be tested first. However, this 15-minute candle did just close, and it did print a massive wick. So this might be an indication that price is going to reverse from this point. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's see what EU is looking like. Same thing on EU. However, on EU, we did not even push. We did not even come and test last week's high. Well, we did. but we didn't. We didn't take up any of the liquidity that was potentially sitting up here. Oh, come on. Can't. Here we go. We took the little bit of liquidity that was potentially sitting here. So price pushed into this point, took up the liquidity for the orders were sitting during New York session, and then now we're pushing lower. So I can see price pushing lower. What is the indices looking like? Let's see what is the Dixie showing. The Dixie did the same thing. It just took the liquidity that was sitting here with this wick, and now it seems like it's reacting off of it. Let's see if we have a lower low. No, we don't. Not yet anyway. So it could be that there is some buyers sitting right here attempting to push the price a little bit higher. Now the question is, are we going to have this full retracement in this area? Are we going to take all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearish candles and absolutely get rid of them? Or are we going to see price attempt to go higher and then just push lower, then maybe trying to come back up again and then continuing down and then attempting and then continuing down? So question is, are we going to see dollar weakness or are we going to see some dollar strength today? As it stands right now, it seems as though we've got a little bit of dollar weakness leading into the Tokyo session, because it's not pushing higher and testing last week's high points. So we could have a change of direction, but it is consolidating at the moment, to be dead honest. You have this. That's actually the area to look at. It is on the hourly created this little area of consolidation, attempted to go higher, push back in, attempt to go higher, consolidate a little bit more, push lower, back into the box, and again. So if it wants to go lower, it really needs to break lower than the last week Friday's low point, come and retest and continue lower. That is for the DXY. So if that is the point, then it means that we have dollar weakness. And then what I want to see then is on the pairs that are connected to the dollar, GU and EU, I want to see price push higher, come a little bit lower for an entry point and go higher. And then what I can look for is I can look for an entry point once there is a confirmation of a bullish continuation. So bullish movement, bearish 2 candles maximum on the 15 as an example, and then another bullish candle to confirm the upward movement. So let's hope that something like that happens. That would be nice. Then I can actually, no, you know what? I should not be entering any more trades that will be going against my plan. I've already got 3 trades for today, 2 winners and a little, let's call it a little scalpy one. I should not be trading again today. I think that might not be the smartest thing for me to do, because that goes against my plan, and I'm all about the plan. Focus on the plan. Don't focus on the results. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna enter another trade today. I'm quite happy with my 3 trades that I've got today. Stick to the plan. Just don't be greedy. Don't be a little greedy boy. Let's go back to see what chat has to say. Oh yeah, that we've already checked out. MGN, my friend, my best mate is. Let me try that one again. My best mate is Liverpool fan too. On the quiet, I love the way they play and the game, and I am a closet fan too. Okay, so is this Pooley admitting to him coming out of the closet as a Liverpool fan? You heard it here first, guys. And then Pooley, I think Jan William has his hands full at the moment. That he does. I'm what I like is the fact that he can hear my voice right now as he's got his hands full. So in some way, shape, or form, I'm a part of his hands full moment. So I don't know how you want to take that. Yeah. Puli, you have mentioned before that your edge took a hammering around Feb-March time, Rich. Is it the edge back for you now, or have you defined another? So, the interesting thing is, my edge always came from slight pullbacks. So, enough volume in the market for price to move in a direction and then retrace a little and then continue with the trend. My problem came in during Feb and March was that there was way more volatility when there was a retracement, as an example. So I looked for bases, and then the bases would be a lot larger than normal. So if I got a confirmation of continuation of the trend, whether it was bullish or bearish, what would happen is I would get my confirmation, I would enter, and then immediately price would drop yet again. So I didn't have enough sequences of rally-based rallies or drop-based drops in a row in order to get my my entry and for it to go to take profit. So where price would start moving up, let's say for argument's sake, 5, 6, 7 pips, once I've entered a trade, by the time that it started pushing down again, the retracement was a little bit larger than anticipated, then a 15, 16, 17 pip drop, and then once again it goes up 30 pips. So it seems as though the market, according to my strategy, has now gone back to pre-January, let's say last year, November-ish, like not the holiday season, but like the November section, because I did quite well in November last year. It seems as though market is returning back to that way. Yes, we do have days where we have high volatility, the price is moving up and down, and like, let's say 20, 30 pips at a time. But it seems as though it wants to go back to having smaller retracements and more directional movements. Like last week, Friday, on pound, we had an attempt to go lower and then a strong move up. And within this strong move up, there were multiple opportunities. It was Thursday, not Friday. Thursday. There were multiple opportunities for me to get in on a trade where we're rallying and creating a base and then rallying again. Obviously, 2:30 here by us was a news event, but after the news, it pushed up, it made a base, it made a rally. There is an entry point for me for a long 1-to-1. Amazing. Yes, this is hindsight, obviously, but like it's just an example. And then you have multiple downward candles, bearish candles, signifying that the direction is attempting to change. But this is still a base, in the sense that price is not making lower lows. It's not pushing lower than the previous base. So price should have pushed lower in an attempt to show that we are going bearish now. So to me, the fact that we had multiple candle wicks in a row here that were about equal, if I wanted to enter as a, not necessarily on this one, but I would think that would be more of an entry point, because my bases are 2 to maximum 3 opposite direction candles than the trending move. But it tried to push lower, tried to go up, attempt to go lower again, and then confirmed it wanted to go up by creating another bullish candle. There's another entry point for a 1 to 5R again. So there were multiple attempts last week, just on Thursday alone. Even this section earlier in the day, waiting for the news to happen, there were a lot of opportunities for me to enter, not necessarily getting the 1-to-5s. I would have gotten maybe a few 1-to-1s and maybe a few losses as well. But before January, before February, it was a little bit more like this now, where from February, March, April, those 3 months, I struggled. Price would push down, push high up, push down, push high up, push down, something like this. And at no point would it have given me enough rally-based rallies. So you would have, for argument's sake, you'd have three rally candles, and then 3 base candles, then a rally candle, and then I'd enter on that rally candle, and then it'd have 2 base candles, which is longer than 10 pips. It would be like 15 pips. And that is something that I struggled with from then. But now it seems as though the market is giving a little bit more. It's still got volatility, but less volatility to the point where my strategy becomes invalidated. So it does feel as though we are heading more towards the point of it normalizing. Let's say normalizing. Yeah, I think that's a good one. They were the team I used to support back in the day when I still watched football. Now I don't really watch anything except sports-wise anymore. Yeah, I mean, it was Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. He was the massive Liverpool fan. Like a proper, Scouser? MGN, last season they played the best football I've seen in the Premier League. Oh, that is football. That should make him last longer. Can you imagine the fact that his live stream host being there to witness him, well, be a part of, let's rather say, not witness it ourselves, and me being in his ear and he's listening to me is like really driving him to stay in the game. Let's say. I can only imagine. Geez, can you imagine? No, please don't imagine. But can you imagine? It would be so funny. Because Mr. William hasn't posted anything or mentioned anything since just after 8 o'clock this morning. So yeah, he might be. Yeah, I've just tuned back in after breakfast. Okay, so what did you have? CC with eggs, CC with bacon. Is that your breakfast that you had? I wouldn't blame you. Right? It sounds like a lovely breakfast. Did you go for a quick morning gym session? Nah, but we're joking. Will we? It's weird to be honest, but hey ho, whatever works for you. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, ne? Yeah, it's Mark. He still is. Lol, just realized I left a work in the last message because I changed my train of thought halfway through. Yeah, that's true. I also, I was reading and I thought, maybe halfway through you changed what you were trying to say and it just disappeared. I think you had a quick munch. That is true. Just a quick munch. We don't blame you, William. You're on holiday, man. You do you. You do whatever you want to do. So this is just to be on GU at the moment. So this would technically classify as a rally-based rally on the 5 minute. So where this upward push, a rejection, and then an attempt to go lower, and then a new bullish candle to signify going long. However, the fact that we are at a recent high point and we haven't broken a close through this high point as yet makes it less likely for me to want to take this as a rally-based rally entry point. So like I mentioned earlier, I would want to see it push a little bit lower and come and test this Tokyo high section and then potentially push a little bit lower to come and test. What am I doing? Go back to the 15 minute. There is a base candle on the 15 minute where if it can come and test this base and then push back up again, that would be great. Or if this tested the Tokyo high and then attempted to go higher. It is making a base candle on the 15-minute, but I don't like the fact that we have this large wick right at the same time that we are creating a base. So what would have been more ideal is if this last candle that had this big wick, if this was a full candle, if this was a nice full candle, and then this, you had the base and then the rally, that would have signified to me the want to push higher. And as it stands right now, this, even though on the 5-minute it's showing a rally base and then another rally, it's not really, I'm not confident that it would carry on pushing higher. And also another thing for my rally base rally is that once you have a rally and then a base, the next base, let's see if I can just make this a little bit larger. Yeah. The next base, so this is a rally, there's your base candle, and then you have the confirmation of the rally. This becomes another base because it's up to 2 candles. This base is not allowed to be lower than the most recent base, which is this candle, this bearish candle over here. So this new base has pushed lower and closed lower than the previous base. So this might just signify a potential reversal according to how I see the market. Couple that with the fact that we have tested this previous section, previous high, and we've closed on the 5-minute, but we haven't closed on the 15-minute above it. It's got this very long wick above it. So I am going to stick to my idea of not entering another trade, at least not today. So I'm happy that I got a good trades multiple, and yeah, I'm more neutral now in terms of entering trades, even though I do feel like we could potentially come and retest the base at the bottom and then start pushing higher. Okay, I see there's a few people having a little discussion. The Davies brothers, croissants, coffee, cigars, and CC is my French diet. Yeah, that seems like a pretty... there's a lot of C's: croissant, coffee, cigars, and CC's. Dude, you're having your 5 C's a day, it would seem, is your French diet. What Will doesn't know is that Ghetto is in the wardrobe. Ghetto seems to be a bit of a voyeur then. He's got the camera. Yeah, well, he's gonna send us photos later. So it will be on Discord within the hour. After some airbrushing and enlargement editing, of course. Dude, you savage. The way that you just absolutely donked on yourself there. But the thing is, it's the cheeks. We just want to see the cheeks. We want to know if it's hairy or if it's not hairy. Actually, no, scratch that. Don't let the intrusive thoughts take over. Yeah. Guys, it seems as though we've reached 1 hour. We've actually gone over. I was actually enjoying the conversation and the analysis a little bit more. Do feel a little bit more awake and no longer as though I've been hit by a truck. CC's rich. Yeah, 5 CC's. Croissants, coffee, cigars, and CC. So it's 5 CC's. I'll leave that to your imagination. Ugh. We should not leave things to my imagination. My imagination is absolute dirt. 5 CC's, Rich. Yeah, there's so many CC's. Anyway, on that bombshell, guys, I hope everybody has an amazing day. Will carry on enjoying your holiday, mate. You deserve it. Pooley, I hope to see you a little bit later. Actually, I hope to see everybody that's in today for the Fiverr stream, because I will be on the Fiverr stream this afternoon. They have another competition. I can't believe this conversation is immortalized on the internet now. Yep. That is generally how it goes. We do like poking fun at each other and not taking each other too seriously. And especially if we can have an opportunity to just absolutely blast on Will. That is one of our favorite things to do. Yeah, forever out there. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to end the stream now, guys. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Very appreciative of those that rocked up. Thank you for spending the hour with me. It's just going to be myself and I this week. Like Will said, he's got better things to do than be on stream with me. But all right, guys, have a lovely day. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to give it a share if you would be so kind. And then I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.